Hello there, gentle viewers. Let's summarize the week that was in Washington again, from the important to the not so important in descending order. Number one, the report of the Financial Crisis Commission was released this week, and it's something worth reading about and finding out about. It was a commission that was appointed a couple of years ago, 6 Democrats, 4 Republicans. Its conclusions were that Wall Street gambled like crazy with our money and took great risks and didn't know, did things that in many cases the bankers themselves didn't know exactly what they were doing. They have referred sections of the report to federal prosecutors for prosecution of some Wall Street figures. I wonder what the odds are of that happening. The other interesting thing about this report, only the 6 Democrats signed it. The 4 Republicans would not sign these conclusions and instead signed a different set of conclusions, of course blaming chiefly Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac and ignoring Wall Street. So keep an eye on this. Will there be any prosecutions from this? Second story, I want to talk about Jerry Brown. You know Jerry Brown, the new governor of California. Well, the new old governor of California, because he's governor now for the second time around. He was governor back in the 70s when he was a young man. Now he's a septuagenarian. He's a Democrat, of course, but he's trying to do something really interesting here, and I think it's worth keeping an eye on what goes on in California. California has been known for the last couple of years as a real economic basket case, one of the worst state fiscal situations in the country. $25 billion deficit. Brown is trying to do this exactly down the middle. $12.5 billion in service cuts, $12.5 billion in tax increases. And he's going to every interest group in the state, members of both political parties in the state, and trying to say to them, look, I'm putting it all on the table. If we don't do this, we're sunk. I'm doing it half and half, right down the middle. Are you with me? It's going to be really interesting to watch this process. Jerry Brown could emerge from this very badly politically damaged if it doesn't work out, but he could really emerge from this a hero on an issue that's really, really important, because all the states are in trouble right now. Watch Jerry Brown. Third, let's talk about Rahm Emanuel. As you know, he's back on the ballot for mayor of Chicago. He's ahead in the polls significantly by 20-something points, so he's probably going to win the election. Beyond the question of the ballot, I wanted to bring up Emanuel because he's also proposing something that looks kind of interesting, as long as it stays in the shape that he's discussing it, because he's been a little vague about it. Chicago, too, has money troubles. He wants to trade in the current city sales tax and impose instead a luxury item sales tax plan. He's been a little vague about the details yet, but he said in a debate the other night, for example, that he wants to impose this tax on things like chartering a private jet. So keep an eye on Rahm. He's probably going to win. How's he going to deal with that problem? Number 4, now we start moving into the ridiculous category. The least interesting Washington gossip and guessing game that I can remember is apparently over. The author of O, a presidential novel, which was on the book's cover anonymous, is apparently, according to Mark Halperin of Time magazine, a guy named Mark Salter, who's a McCain writer, a McCain speech writer. He wrote Flags of Our Father, whatever that book was called, something of our fathers that McCain did a few years ago. You'll read stories that say, the great Washington parlor game. I haven't heard anybody mention it. I don't think anybody really cares, but duly noted. And finally, duly noted, Sarah Palin. Yes, we had to talk about her. Will be speaking at the Centennial celebration of Ronald Reagan's life at the Reagan Ranch in Santa Barbara. Watch this time to see if she gets it right that Eureka College is in Illinois, not in California, because she used to say that Ronald Reagan went to college in California. It's hard to keep straight. Eureka. How many can there be?